Good evening, one and all. Today's episode will be about creativity, as you can hopefully tell by the episode title. And I had a little something prepared for the beginning of this, which ties back to a topic we discussed in the last episode, namely that of what Kevin's first idea of a podcast was, playing guitar every week with a new song. And I recently picked up my guitar again after letting it sit by the wayside for like years upon years. Last time I played was when I was like 11 or 12. And I've been playing for like about 3 weeks during the weekends, which is the only time I can practice it. And this is what I can do right now. And I was gonna show a bit of my progress.
I see.
That's about it. There were a few mistakes in there, but
That's really relaxing, bro.
yeah, overall I'm quite happy with what I've been able to do in the short amount of time that I've been practicing again.
What song was that?
It's not a song in particular. There's this guy on YouTube, which I should have written the name of him down, but he makes some really awesome tutorials surrounding just like he tries to give you really basic chords and tells you how to make nice sequences from them. He's amazing. I was doing this and then also practicing another song, but the other song is absolutely atrocious in my hands. But yeah, no. So that's the interlude to creativity. And with that being said, there is something that we had in store for the podcast starting from now on as like a little bit of a permanent addition, potentially, probably. And that is amending some things that we said in the last episode and maybe should have said in a different way, or, overall adjustments to the last episodes. And the first one of that category is the feedback that the visuals were somewhat messy that we got from one person.
Just a friend, lol.
Yeah, just a friend, but yeah, still. And the taskbar is now also hidden for the majority of the video unless Kevin slides down to get it, which should make it a little less messy.
More immersive, just
exactly.
getting the full screen experience.
Exactly.
Although I'm still used to playing Minecraft windowed.
Really? You played a
makes-
windowed?
Yeah, it always makes more sense to me.
Wow. Yeah,
But that's part of being a child,
Fair enough. Yeah, as a child I also played windowed, but the moment I discovered full screen, I always played full screen.
Yeah, I know so many people who say it has better immersion, but
Yeah, I don't know why that is, honestly, but it does feel more immersive. But yeah, no. So for the second thing, there was a little bit of critique to myself, specifically, which was my atrocious way of transitioning from one subject to a different subject. At one point, I said, "But yeah, it's called Oyasumi kefkef, which neatly brings us to blah blah blah." Yeah, that's not neatly at all. So that's an amendment I would like to make. Then up next is normally Kevin should show you the channel right now. It's JXshi. At one point I mentioned a guy who made videos critiquing CinemaSins, so CinemaSins over CinemaSins, and I said his name was J something. Sorry, not his, their name was J something, and I forgot what the something was. It's Exshi. And apparently they're non-binary, which I also didn't know until I looked up their name online, and it said JXshi gender, so I instantly looked it up, and it said non-binary. I'm not really sure what their preferred pronouns are. I'm just gonna, to stay safe, I'm just gonna use they, them. but I saw somewhere it was he/they/she, so it just didn't matter at all. But I'm not sure. So yeah, that's. And last but not
that's the reason you wanted to bring him up again, because you felt bad about saying the wrong pronouns.
Yeah, I mean, firstly that, and also secondly because I didn't I didn't add the last name, so just saying J doesn't really come. Yeah, and then
well,
last
it's nice of you that you think back about that, but I don't know. In the second episode, it's a bit late to say, but what I guess better late than never.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly just didn't know. That's the thing. I didn't know until I looked up their name again, JXG, and then literally the first Google autofill was JXG gender, and that made me think like, oh, do they have like specific pronouns that they want to use? And then I looked it up, and then I saw what the answer was, that they were non-binary. That's the only reason why I was using him, he, him in the first episode, because I just genuinely didn't know. They never really bring it up in their videos either, or at least not the videos that I've watched of theirs.
I mean, honestly, I respect that. Like, just making the content instead of just making it so focused about this and that, you know?
Yeah, it is indeed. Like, apparently it was like revealed in some interview with another person, but I'm not too sure on the details. I haven't done my research on it, so I don't want to make any judgments, I suppose. But yeah, no, but not least about the quote-unquote amendments is the chess champion has been announced, namely Magnus Carlsen.
No one's surprise.
Exactly.
Bastard.
Fifth time in a row. And Jan Nepomniachtchi, whose last name I am somewhat confident on pronouncing now. I'm sure I make mistakes on it, but you know, has not won a single game, unfortunately. There's even a clip that I sent Kevin of Jan really being devastated by the way that the matches were going. That when I saw that kind of hit home quite a lot, you know.
I mean, honestly, the thing is, I don't know if you know, right? But like I don't exactly know the research anymore. But certain chess players actually had a heart rate that was as high as an Olympic like athlete during certain chess games, and that their blood pressure and stuff is like incredibly high for such a long period of time. Yeah,
honestly, it's quite insane how stressful chess really is. Especially like because really what it is, like if you watch some chess commentators as well, like they really get critical of the slightest blunder someone makes at that level, which I don't know. I find that kind of toxic, to be honest.
What is toxic about it?
It you know, like they are just a person at the end of the day. If they make a blunder like that,
it's.
I mean, yeah, sure, you should mention that it is a blunder and that it's not like expected of someone of that level, but to go that deep into it just kind of feels mean to me.
I don't think it's bad at all, because it's a critique of the game, of the art, the gameplay in some sense, you know, instead of being a critique of the person or something, you know. It's just, yeah, no, like I said, a critique of the how do you say, execution, or the way of play, or like the you know. If someone is playing worse than usual, then of course they're gonna point it out.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it just seemed like a little hyperbolic to me, some of the stuff that was said. And in Gotham Chess's recap video, at the end of it, he also mentioned like that it was a little, like it was kind of getting pretty bad.
I didn't see the commentation, but in most cases, I think, yeah, no, I mean, it's not fun, of course, and it's not really nice, but it is the reality of the situation, you know. If you didn't perform, you didn't.
No, that is fair. But yeah, no, I feel, I just want to say that I also feel Nepo quite a bit on just like all that pressure and then not being able to execute it as well as you wanted to, and then just completely crumbling, because that was like a prediction that many people had, including Magnus Carlsen. He was like, Nepo is a very strong player, but the moment you get pressure onto him, he just crumbles completely, which is exactly what ended up happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's part of the game, I guess.
Exactly. But, you know, going into the actual topics that we were going to discuss today, surrounding mainly creativity as a concept, let's first of all start with the fact that some of you might have noticed that in the YouTube release, at least, because we're not doing this on Spotify just yet until we know what is okay and what isn't.
So I did some research on like copyright and how about music, because I honestly would really like having music in it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in like the original vision of like this podcast, in some sense, I just thought of it as some like late night vibes. Maybe not a cafe, but
Mm-hmm.
some gentleness around it. You know, like
Exactly.
how people often use lo-fi as some gentle enjoyment in their life.
Exactly.
And
You don't
so
really need to listen to it or anything.
yeah, and in some sense, I feel like music would really add to that. And I really wanted to add Catherine's music because that's one of my favorite games. And I did it in my Photoshops, and I always liked doing that in my Photoshops. But we were very scared of doing it because of copyright issues, right? Especially with recently Totally Mark's.
Yeah, totally not Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, Totally Not Mark's painful loss of like 300 plus videos because YouTube, Toei and YouTube were just difficult about it.
Yeah.
Which is unfair.
It's extremely unfair. Like some of those videos that were taken down were just drawing videos. Like that's insane to me that they can just do that as a big company. They were like, oh, you're drawing Vegeta? Well, I mean, that's Vegeta, that's our property. Bam, copyright. Like, what? That makes no sense.
In the end, we decided to take the risk because I personally watched some other. I honestly, I watched some other YouTubers, and I don't know if what their rule set around it is, but there are plenty of other video essay channels that seem to do it without necessarily big problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also deliberately chose like Atlas's music catalog because Atlas isn't difficult about it. For example, I know that Nintendo sometimes hard trolls their fan base, so
Yeah, indeed.
so yeah. I know that some melee songs from Smash are also pretty alright to take, but it's still a risky thing to do.
Melee, like, oh,
Smash
Melee, yeah,
Melee.
okay, yeah. No, I don't know any Smash Melee songs. I was gonna mention how Smash Bros. Songs don't really fit the calm vibe, do they? But Melee, I don't know.
You'd be surprised. Some songs are genuinely really beautiful and slow. So
I see. Oh, you know a song that I really like is the lake theme from Pokemon Platinum, I want to say. It's got like a really nice sway back and forth. It's like the you know.
I don't know if I play Pokemon Battle, to be honest.
I'll link back to it in the next episode and get the exact music video and everything.
Sure.
The songs track and everything. But yeah,
Sure.
no.
But yeah, so we decided to take the leap anyway. I don't know. I don't think it technically is that. I don't know. Also, if we ever get screwed over, technically I'm gonna upload these videos on Odyssey, which is basically like YouTube but not painful. But you know, they're not backed by Google, so that's
Right.
another thing. But yeah, no, it's just something to think about, I guess. I just really wanted the capture music in it, you know, and that type of stuff, and I don't want to just limit it to that. So yeah.
I wonder why they named the website Odyssey.
Odyssey isn't like, I mean the logo is also an astronaut, so it's just like exploring content, you know.
Oh, I see. All right.
It's adventure stuff.
Yeah, because the original like Odyssey written by Homeros is like a guy going on an exploration and then returning to his home, which is like the entire theme that usually Odyssey titles encompass. Like they go somewhere and then they return to the same place as they
How
started
was the
from.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey then?
Well, that was Odyssey in the sense that it went back to those Greek times, no?
I don't know, I didn't play the game, I hate Assassin's Creed.
I didn't play the game either, but I do know that Socrates was in it and stuff, so I assumed that it would be Odyssey because it was back in the time of
I know the
Homerus.
box art has like Spartans in it.
Yeah, so it was probably during like the Peloponnesian Wars and stuff. I'm not sure. It might have been. But yeah, no. By the way, like maybe a bit unrelated, but the VCT champions, what's up with them?
Oh yeah, the Valorant, yeah. So last time I said I bet on Liquid to win, right? Because I thought Liquid looked that good with Scream and stuff, right?
Yeah.
My god, it was very disappointing to watch, bro. It was really painful, bro. It's genuinely like, how do you say it? They've faced Ascent, right? And they literally like on the first map they had like a garbage win rate, right? So the fact that they lost surprised no one, right? Like they were kind of infamous that Bind was their worst map. And so I was like, okay, I guess they lost like 13-8 or something. That's fine. But then it came to their map, right? The map that they chose. So normally you would do well, right? It's best of five, best of 3, by the way. And they literally lost like 13-2 or 3. So
Jesus. Wow,
and
that's sad.
one of the only rounds they had was where Scream got an ace, so he had 5 kills. We just killed everyone. That's one of the only rounds they got.
Oh my god, that's saddening.
And I just had to sit there and think, fuck, man. So Scream literally had to kill everyone to win one round. That was like that might have been like the only round I had at one half.
And that's the guy with the headshot percentage.
Yeah,
right?
one of the greatest aimers of all time. He had like 66% headshot percentage or something. In this tournament, he had like 40%, so it's a bit less. But this dude is,
Yeah.
This dude is mind blowing. Like, I was really sad, but at the same time, this Brazilian team crew is actually doing amazing right now. Like, they got eliminated. Actually, never mind. But how do you say? They were from Brazil, right? And Brazil/Latin America is not really known for their esports, right?
Yeah.
And they have a very infamously aggressive playstyle. But so last time they played, they were like the best of the worst. Oh no, yeah, the best of the worst. That's the right way to say it.
Right.
They came into like Iceland, I think, and they didn't do. I mean, it's really good that they came there. Like they got that far, right? But they were eliminated quickly. And it actually seems, and this time they got to semi-finals, which is really impressive, you know.
Yeah.
Last
wow,
time they were. Before that, they were like one of the first ones to get eliminated, and to see them now like make the semi-finals, they beat the best. They beat Sentinels, by the way. Like they beat one of the best American teams. They beat one of the best Asian teams, and then they almost beat the Russians, which I would say is possibly the strongest region in tactical shooters like CS:GO and Valorant. They
Fair.
almost beat them. They literally lost in overtime, 15-15 on last match point, series point.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was really depressing. I was watching it with Chevron, a mutual friend of us, and man, we were really sad. It was like, dang it, the Russians are just too good, man, too good.
Talk about a glow up, though.
Yeah, that was something that really surprised me. NA, like, I mean, America is kind of infamous for being kind of bad at tactical CS:GO/Valorant, right? But since Sentinels won like the big tournament last time and they looked so dominant, before Gambit actually, like in Iceland, because they seemed so dominant, we're like, oh damn, maybe they are just the best. But this time, like the Koreans and stuff, they all stepped up and they were playing really good. It was just really good gameplay.
I remember like back when I really enjoyed looking at Overwatch Pro League. That shit was just like infested with the Koreans. Like they were so good at it. It was actually insane.
Yeah, right now the grand finals is happening. By the way, I'm gonna save that for next week. Watching it. Yeah.
Valorant, you mean?
Yeah, the grand finals is happening right now, but I want to watch it with Chevron again, so I have to watch it next week.
I see. Yeah. Kind of like how we like watched that badminton match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, I know another badminton match is happening as well with I think it's the Indonesia Open this time. It was Denmark Open last time we watched, right? I watched the grand finals, by the way.
And what happened?
It was Kento Momota versus Victor Alexson, if you don't remember.
Right, yeah, you did say that.
So yeah, Victor Alexson was like the Olympic champion. He's been winning a lot, right? And it was versus Kento Momota. And Kento Momota has actually not lost to Victor Alexson in the last 8 years or something.
Wow, but
which
like,
is mind blowing to think about, right?
Did he lose this game or?
This time, Kento Momota lost. Yeah, it was
based.
It was actually really I don't know what to say. It was really good to watch or something.
Did it go into overtime or?
The first game did, the second game didn't, and the third game didn't either. So.
I see.
But it's something I always have to think about, like how do you say? Yeah, just like guess about how much money they made.
Badminton players?
Yeah.
God,
like,
I don't know.
Just guess what the number one Victor Allison got as prize pool money.
Well, you know, you have like soccer players, you like get like millions. So I don't know, like 700,000 maybe.
Less. But that was only that one tournament's prize pool, right? So.
300,000.
Less.
50,000.
50,000. A little bit more.
75.
No, it's 60. So Victor Allison got 60,000.
60 or 68?
60.
Wow, that's
And then
wow.
wait, and then Kenta Momota got like 28,000.
Yikes, though. 60. You know, that kind of like cuts back to I went to a friend's place yesterday, right? And you know that it's like my family is good friends with their family as well, and at like their family knows that I'm like I like playing badminton, right? And at one point they started like teasing me. They were being like, "Man, badminton is such a pussy sport." I was like, and they started saying how like there's no punch behind it when they do that, you know, like it just feels lame to watch and stuff like that. And I felt so belittled, you know, because badminton is like, just looking at it at like a really high level, you can see how intensive it is as well. And I can't remember the exact numbers you told me about, but like how much they run in a rally is also like insane.
It's like no, actually, like I think around 3 kilometers in a full match. Not too sure, like something like that, right? But,
Right.
oh yeah, that grand finals. By the way, those 3 games was like 1 hour and 40 minutes. That's crazy.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but
So.
that's just like I don't know. In my opinion, you can't say badminton is like not an intensive sport. It's in my opinion, it's definitely up there in terms of like how intensive it can get.
Dude, it's really hard to say. Like, it's like it also has to do with something like it's one of the fastest sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's hard to judge because you can, in some sense, you can also be like, well, what makes you tired in some sense, you know, like.
Right.
Because technically, like I don't know if badminton really stacks up to, but like how do you compare it to a team sport, for example, you know? Like
Also
if
true.
if you compare it to, for example, like basketball is also very intense, you know, and it also drags on really long.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball does like best of sevens, so.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I should refrain from saying that it's definitely up there, but you know, I don't think you can, in good conscience, say that it's A, not exciting to watch, and B, not intensive.
So yeah,
like,
but
if you see like those people like getting like a shot served to them like in the back, and they have to like do one of those scissor jumps to get full force behind it to get it over the net again. I don't know. Every time I watch that, I feel my entire body tense up with them. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's also how do you say? Like on reaction speed, it's also then it is very hard, because if you compare it to something like tennis, you can react to the ball bouncing and stuff. So
yeah, also true.
It depends on what you value as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah, no.
Also it is one of those sports where you can see playstyles, which is something I also always enjoyed seeing.
Yeah, playstyles are fun to be able to see. You know, they add a creative twist to the player. Like, I don't know. I'm not familiar with golfing, for example, but I don't really think golfing has like a specific playstyle to it or anything. Maybe golfing is not the right sport to have. Actually, now that I think about it, are there any sports that would really, like, I mean, basketball players have their own style, soccer players, you can kind of see their own style to things, like what they're good at and what they're bad at. I don't
know. The thing I always get sad at is like, it's really hard to. I don't understand why people watch it, honestly, but like swimming races or just at like running races and stuff, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like getting the world record on running as fast as you can or something. That is something I always have a hard time understanding why people would watch that, but. Yeah.
Interesting, because I mean there are also different running techniques to use. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7, there's like an entire character who like it has some like semi pseudoscience bullshit to it for sure, but he was able to keep up with a horse's speed because of the way he was running. So like I'm assuming there are like different running styles that you can incorporate in order to get different amounts of speed. But yeah, it is probably true that like there isn't much uniqueness to if Usain Bolt were to run, or like whomever is the second fastest guy alive.
Ouch, man. Ouch.
Yeah, I don't know the person's name. Okay, so
yeah, no, but also like that's what with creativity as well, right? If you can show your own playstyle, you can show your own creativity in it, you know. But
yeah, exactly.
being creative is something that's very elusive, if you ask me, you know. Like, how do you even practice creativity and stuff?
Yeah, to me, creativity is kind of like a it is definitely like an abstract thing, but to me, if I can even be considered a creative person, it just comes in waves. You know what I mean? But there are different types of creativity now that you mention it, because in sports, for example, there's definitely like a form of spontaneous creativity, but then there's also the planned creativity, and I think both of them kind of like, if you have a planned creative thing, so for example, if you think of a new opening in chess or you something like that, that's like planned out, but to get that plan, something needs to strike you and it needs to get those mental juices flowing. So in a way, even planned creativity is like a form of spontaneous creativity, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but then again, how do you prove it in some sense, you know?
Prove
Or like,
something's
no,
creative.
No, how do you say? Okay, you say this is more creative than that. You know, because at high level, everyone is creating counter strategies and stuff. You know.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Or like interpreting art and or like subversing the expectations and stuff. You know.
Yeah, I would say that it depends on how much something breaks the mold. So what is done the most, right? And so, for example,
so creativity is just based on what the rest is doing, and so you say, oh, you're not doing what the rest is doing, so you're creative?
No, because there has to be a point behind it. If you're just not doing what the rest is doing for the sake of not doing what the rest is doing, then it's not creative because there's no point behind it.
Okay.
For example,
yeah,
if we take the chess idea again, right? E4, E5, I think that's like the most played thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you play like Scandinavian defense, which would be E4, D5 for the black pieces, then that would be a more creative opening than E4, E5. Because the point then is that E4 takes on D5, and you take again with your queen. And that's like a creative Solution to the idea of like, how do I get as fast development as possible, and how do I get to this, you know what I mean? So breaking the mold with a certain idea in mind, to me, is what is more creative than just playing what or doing what others are doing.
I understand what you're trying to say, but it is.
If we take this to like art, for example, right? You have Oyasumi Punpun, right? And Oyasumi Punpun, a not creative way of breaking the mold would be making Punpun have the design that he does, which is, you know, very simplistic, and then just having that there. That would be not creative. That would just being weird for the sake of being weird. However, because the author of Oyasumi Punpun made Punpun as simplistic as Punpun is, suddenly they can like transform his character design in a bunch of like a plethora of ways, and they use that to convey special emotions that otherwise you couldn't express with a normal human face. Same with Trail of Blood, where at some points someone gets punched, I think, but like because it was sort of a fever dream moment, the person getting punched is like completely hazy and stuff. If you just do like the hazy thing for no reason, it's not creative. But if you do that to show that this person is in a sort of drunken, feverish state, then suddenly that gains meaning, and it gains an identity of its own.
But then here it comes, right? So I already sent you like a painting of Jackson Pollock, right? Like him with his like just raw and like intense lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in some sense, what do you think of that then? In some sense, because he puts like I like it a lot. I feel like it shows a lot of like contrast between like the white space, the use of white space and like color and stuff. I like it a lot. I feel like it screams a certain type of emotion, you know, and it also has a story behind it because if you didn't know, you can literally know if Jackson Pollock made the painting because he's a special way of painting the painting that no one else really does. You can literally mathematically prove it by an algorithm.
Yeah,
And in some
that's
sense
insane.
Yeah, like, but it also gets a lot of criticism because you know, it is weird and it gets stuff like a lot of money, you know. And
Yeah. I mean, to me, that would be creative. I may not like it, but that doesn't mean that it's not creative, you know? And if you can literally, if this guy went through so much effort to make a system where you can mathematically prove, like, yeah, this is this guy, or if there is like,
so he takes a brush,
uh-huh,
dips it in the paint, and he like holds it above like the canvas and splatters it on it there.
Right.
But he does it in a specific way that it's almost non-hackable. That's the specific technique. It's not like mind blowing. It's literally just splashing it on there. But I don't know how to explain it. But he just splashes it on there in a way that people can just always know. With this type of force and this type of feeling of randomness. That's how he does it. So.
I mean, I can definitely see in which ways it can be seen as like highly emotional as well. You know, like the scribbled lines and everything. It definitely paints like an idea of massive disorder, but at the same time you have like the white line, for example, which really takes my attention, which just kind of like flows through it almost. So it's like beauty within disorder. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking when I see it. But and if there is like a genuine storyline or a genuine idea behind this, I may not be able to tell it. But if he can tell it and it makes sense, then yeah. I mean, that's creative. That's a really creative way of expressing the idea that you had in mind.
I see, yeah. But it's also something that makes me so sad. It's like creativity, you lose that with age, you know?
You think?
There are multiple studies that prove it will. You didn't
I
know?
mean, but like there's just a point where
like,
you peak. There's a point where you peak.
No, listen. There was like this thing, NASA made like a test, a creativity test, where like, I don't know how many Americans did it, and there was only like 2% that was to hit the genius level of creativity, right? But then they let a bunch of 4-year-olds do that test, and 98% of those 4-year-olds were genius level creative. And
I mean,
and if, at age 15 you're half as genius, and when you enter adult life you're already like a quarter of your creativity level.
I mean, like you have. I'm not sure if I. Like, first of all, I don't know the exact statistics, but like a surprising amount of actual studies that are done end up being false, you know, because of multiple reasons, such as the researchers themselves needing to come up with surprising results to get their ideas published and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons as to why it might get skewed a little bit. I do get that it makes sense on some level, and obviously I would trust science over my own intuition. But at the same time, there's also the question of how do they define creativity, and what is the creativity test, and how do they know that it defines creativity, you know? Because without those parameters, you could literally have like people answering the question, what is 2 + 2? And then the people who answer 4 are not creative, but the people who answer with a circle are. And then obviously, which, you know, is a dumb example, but
I understand what you're trying to say, yeah, but with it, like, that creativity test, there was also a scientist who, I recently watched a documentary on creativity, that's why. And there was a scientist who said, like, well, the people who score the highest on creativity tests are actually the people who end up the most happy in life as well. And that creativity test is one of the most most often done tests and stuff, you know, like.
Interesting. because like, do you know about there's a quite common belief, especially in like art schools and art universities and stuff, where like teachers will literally go like, oh, if you're happy, you can't create good art.
Yeah.
So that's interesting how that kind of like goes against what you just said. I personally don't agree with it, by the way, with the if you're happy you can't create good art, but you know, it's interesting that there is like, again, an idea of like which expert is right here. Is it the is it the person who works in the field of arts and by proxy creativity in the field of arts? Would he have a better, or she, or they, would they have a better idea of what is, creative art, and if the person is happy doing it? Or would the scientist have a better idea you can definitely come up with creative solutions within the field of science, but that creativity might not necessarily translate over into
I mean, yeah, happiness itself is also a weird measure. Something I personally always love watching is like those specific Africans that completely don't know anything about modernity, right? They're purely like hunter-gatherer lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, wait a second. One of my favorite videos as well. I don't know if I can. I'll try. Wait, African people walk up a lion. So I remember watching this documentary about. Where is it? Yeah, I found it. So basically, you have these African people, right? They're hunter-gatherers, right?
Yeah.
And they see like lions eating at like an animal that's being killed, right, or finished hunting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the African people, they literally just walk up to those lions.
Yeah.
And the lions back off, and then they steal half the meat, and they just.
Wow, that's a Chad move.
But the thing is, right? They walk up in a group of 3 towards the lions, right? And the lions are like, "What the fuck? Why is he walking up so confidently?" Right? And they in a span of like 20 seconds, they have to cut the meat and just run away, right? Or walk away, because you can't run, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the lions come back and call out their bluff, right? But because you didn't get the kill, the lion is not angry, because the lion is more focused on hunting than the act of hunting than killing, you know?
Yeah.
And it is actually one of the most unbelievable things I ever saw. I was like, wait, what? These guys just walk up these lions and just straight up hard troll, just take a piece of meat.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool. Honestly,
and,
that's a JoJo moment.
Something as well, right? Is about this scene is like, a lot of people say like when they measure happiness for countries, right? They always look at life expectancy, and I don't think these African people I don't think they live much longer than 40, you know?
Yeah, that is true.
And so technically, the life expectancy would be pretty low. But in some sense, I feel like these people are like living a lifestyle of like living. It's a completely different way of living, but a pure way of living that is just so honest, you know? Like, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, that is indeed a thing. Like, the criteria that define a fulfilling life, as you said, some of them just like, do they really make sense? Because I remember during ethics class, we were talking about this we weren't talking about this, but the teacher brought up a lecture she had a few years ago where this exact topic came up, and one of the students in the auditorium was heavily handicapped. Is that a word I can use still? Anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Like she couldn't really. She was completely paralyzed. Her entire body was, but she was extremely intelligent. And so, because she was completely paralyzed, she couldn't really engage in the conversations that were happening during class. But the only thing that wasn't paralyzed were like her facial expressions, but she couldn't talk either. And the students were talking about how they wouldn't want to live, quote unquote, as a plant. They wouldn't want to live in a lifestyle where they couldn't walk around and they couldn't live the life that they live now, right? Basically, they wouldn't want to live like her. And some people even said, like, yeah, if I was born like that, I would rather die. And I think killing people like that isn't necessarily a bad idea.
Holy that's what Hitler once said, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Holy crap. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, but so obviously she got really upset by that, and the teacher could see that by her facial expressions, and she asked her to like I don't remember. I think it was like blink twice if yes, blink once if no, and she asked her like, hey, do you think that your life is worth less than the life of someone who's just normally abled, you know, or physically abled? And she obviously said, no, I think my life is... Well, I mean, she obviously couldn't get into this specific because she couldn't talk, but no, I think my life is worth the same amount, you know? And that's beautiful in that sense. Because we humans tend to think of our way of living as the best way of living in certain capacities, of course. And we wouldn't want to take some things away from us, from ourselves, but, you know, some things are just not that bad to have never gotten. Like, for example, the internet is a great tool. I love it. But at the same time, would I think my life would be less worth living if no one on Earth had the internet? No, not at all. You know, I think that would make life at least the same amount of it would give it at least the same amount of worth. And so yeah, that judgment of what is a fulfilling life, what is a life that is worth living, I don't know. That's why those types of studies, especially concerning abstract concepts like creativity and stuff, I always take them with a grain of salt, you know?
Yeah, no, that's a fair point to have, like, or point to make. Yeah, it's like, fuck, man, it always surprises me when people talk about the disabilities, man. Like, it's rough, bro. Cause like, I'm one of my fucking fears in life, right, is that when I'm old, I have to sit in a wheelchair. I don't want to be in a wheelchair, bro.
The one thing I don't want when I'm old is amnesia or dementia or Alzheimer's, like that type of thing.
Yeah, that's also terrifying, right? But
yeah.
How do you say? I don't know. My whole life is so defined by walking and running around. As a kid, everyone knew me for like running around happily and stuff. So, and even now, I like to walk around, move the way you move your body and stuff. And the thought of just not being able to walk again, bro, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it is indeed quite terrifying. I couldn't imagine it. Well, I mean, I could because I have been in a wheelchair for a little bit of time. But even then, when I was like younger and I broke my leg, I did try to walk around as much as I could with like, what's the English words? Stelts? Is that it? No, probably not, right? Hold on.
Yeah, like things that support you when you have a broken leg. I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. Let me just quickly. Hold on. I'm using Google Translate really quickly because.
But. How you say it? Yeah, no. It's just, it's a hard world, bro.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's Google Translate apparently doesn't want to acknowledge the existence of the word krukken.
I mean, it's in some form it's kind of a dialect, but whatever.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. Oh well, but yeah, the stelts, like the thing that you use to walk around when your legs are broken. But yeah, no.
But yeah, no, it's man, yeah. I know that some people. I know this one. Oh yeah, something else I'm actually scared of is balding, bro. That's some. Oh god, man. That's something I'm not ready for, bro.
Fair, yeah, same. I don't want to look at like Jesse later. It was Jesse with the bald guy, right?
Well, Jesse doesn't know it's Walter White that goes bald.
Walter White. Oh god damn it, Walter White.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. I finished it this week, right? Breaking Bad. That was, oh man. So right at first, ironically, right during season 5, all of season 5, right?
Yeah.
Except for the last 4 episodes, I was just complaining to my friend Rene, who I was watching it with, right? We were watching it, and I was just like, bro, I am so disappointed in Breaking Bad. It's not that good, actually, bro. I'm so sad. Like I just kept voicing my like disappointment in Breaking Bad. I was like, dude, and I still really think like so many flaws it has, some certain plot lines, like, and so many of like, oh well, you're a woman, so no problem, XD. Like, for example, there's this one time where like, well, maybe not because you're a woman, right? But it's like, for example, there's like this character Marie, who's like the wife of a DEA agent, right? Drugs Administration, Enforcement Administration stuff, right? Police officer.
Mm-hmm.
She gets fucking caught for stealing, and then she's like cries, and she's like, my husband worked for the police, and then his husband just bails her out. I'm like, bro, that is. We see that like 4 times or something that she steals like during multiple episodes, right? And like, it's gonna build up to something, and then that's just how it ends. I'm like, bro, that's just stupid, bro. That made me so mad and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It gets rid of all the tension.
Well, it was never the focal point and stuff. But I had a lot of problems with Breaking Bad at some points, right? But now that I'm done with it, right, and especially because the last 3 episodes were just that good, right? I choose to look at the good instead of the bad, right? And then I realized I had a really fucking good time with Breaking Bad. There are like 5 characters I like out of like out of like the 12. But those 5 are really, really, really well done characters, and I really like them. They were really, just really well written. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, I also just like their personalities a lot, and you know, I like the jokes that to act like a character and stuff, you know, because they're just that fun and stuff.
Is there actually like one sort of character trope that you really enjoy?
I don't think. Well, the characters are not. They don't really fall in like, I don't know, in live action shows. I feel like characters don't really fall into archetypes as much as in, for example, anime or cartoons. You know.
Really, you think? I think they fall into archetypes usually a little bit more even.
Huh. Well, how do you say? Maybe I look at it a bit differently. Maybe that's why. But like a big problem I had, like for example, I guess you know Walter White, right? Like the bald guy, right? Yeah, because Will hasn't seen Breaking Bad yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
For those who didn't know. But
I'm a scrub.
He has like this body, and that's like Jesse Pinkman. Well, it's not really his body actually, but I'll spoil you this because it's just the first episode, right? But basically, he used to be that dude's teacher, and then they team up together. That's why.
Oh,
and they have like this, you know, I guess you can say that's cliche. Like they have like their problems at start and then it gets better.
Right. So it's like a rocky relationship type of thing.
At first, yeah, but it gets good and stuff. But yeah, like especially the last episode was really good, man. I felt the desperation, the love in the main characters and stuff, right? Although that's something else as well with Breaking Bad. Sometimes I think the acting is dog water, bro. It makes me so mad. I'm not even joking. Sometimes one actor is like doing amazing, and then the other actor is just doing garbage, and it makes me sad, bro.
Yeah, there's actually like, if I can link this to creativity really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Creatively using bad acting is something that I'm gonna spoil the second movie of Spider-Man with Tom Holland as the actor.
Oh yeah, I actually watched that in preparation of the No Way Home movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch No Way Home next Saturday. So, but yeah, so
Wait, do you have school Wednesday actually?
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yes, I do until like 1 or 2 p.m. I can't remember.
Oh, cause we were talking about either watching it Wednesday or Thursday. Actually, the Spider-Man movie. You can maybe join in, but whatever. That's off topic.
Yeah. Anyway, so with the second movie, what was that? That was Far From Home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Far From Home was in that movie. They did a really good job with the main antagonist of it, because I remember when I was first watching it with my friend, who I'm gonna watch it with on Saturday as well. The third one. When I was watching with him, I was like constantly berating this actor because he was so, in my eyes, he was such a bad actor. He was like, everything he was saying felt forced and like goody two shoes to the maximum, and I was getting really mad about it. And then the break happened, which apparently in America, by the way, movies don't have a break in between. Like it just keeps going. Anyway, that's off point.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Even for long movies like Titanic and stuff.
I'm not sure if it's even for long movies like Titanic and stuff, but
bro, oh my god, Inception is like 2.5 hours, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's for every type of movie, but I do know for like, at least in California, my Californian friend said that that superhero movies and stuff, they don't have breaks. But yeah, so during the break happened, the break was over, and then the reveal happened that the main villain was actually the guy who was trying to be a goody two-shoes. And so now the acting suddenly goes from super bad to like it was intentional, so it was really fucking good. It blew me away. Like the fact that like the bad acting was just the villain not being good at acting is I don't know. That's why that villain is probably my favorite Marvel villain of them all, just because of the acting job that was done in that movie. Also, the final cliffhanger of the movie, which he caused, is also like really good.
I'm gonna be real with you, man. I watched the movie. I was so bored. I actually just stopped watching. Like I was so bored of watching that movie. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch something. I'm gonna play video games while I watch it. I just played some Smash.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm watching the last one, No Home or something, or No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't like the first movie. I thought the second movie was even worse. And I looked at the trailer, I was like, oh man, this third movie also looks pretty fucking awful. But the only reason I'm gonna watch it is just because I was like, it's gonna be my birthday, I gotta watch something, I guess.
Right.
And then I guess as well, because they had that Sam Raimi trilogy villains coming back, but I don't even think they're gonna execute them well, to be honest.
Sam Raimi trilogy? What do you mean?
Did you not see the trailer of the?
I don't watch trailers.
Yeah, then you didn't get spoiled. Congrats.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch trailers. I don't watch trailers because they spoil. They're just like socially acceptable spoilers, or socially acceptable red herrings. Like
I mean,
one of the two.
dude, ironically, they even tried to not spoil it, but just I don't know if you know for Endgame, right? But in Endgame, they actually try to do like, how do you say? In Endgame, they changed the amount of stones Thanos had in certain cutscenes in the trailer so that you couldn't know.
Wow, that's insane.
So yeah, cheers on that one.
I mean, to be fair, since the movie is called Endgame, I would, and also like, this is just like a thing. If you know how stories work, the bad guy usually ends up getting the thing that they want in like the second act of a story. So like Thanos wants the Infinity Stones, so he gets the Infinity Stones, so you get the saddest hour, and then you get the revelation like going on top of that. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5. Oh, you haven't watched JoJo's. Hold on, let me think.
I understand the concept, bro.
Yeah. So like the bad guy, if he's looking for a MacGuffin or some sort of story device or some sort of thing, he will always get his hands on it, and then it will be super bad. Oh no, what's going on? And then they will have to like.
I mean, even then, if you, well, again, that's not always follow. But second of all, even then, you don't know, like. It depends on how the magnitude or gravity, how big the scene is. You know, that's also an important thing. But
what do you mean?
What do you say? What do I compare this for? I think I'm not so sure, right? But I think in Akira that's a thing. If you don't know the manga, I didn't even finish Akira, to be honest. But in Akira, it's like a it's like post-apocalyptic, not apocalyptic, just like super hyper technology city. Like it's like 2100 or something. And then at some point, a character gets like the power to throw a nuclear bomb, and it's like Hiroshima flashbacks, right?
Right.
But we were like, what is this power gonna do? And this power ends up being as powerful as Hiroshima and stuff. Oh.
Wow.
And
yeah.
you know, that we literally just like, so at first we thought that because we see that characters like extend their limbs or like half robot lasers and stuff, you know. But then we fight for this one power, and we didn't even realize it was nuclear power. And then you know, an atomic explosion happens throughout the whole city, where the whole.
So like the MacGuffin or like the final power up is like kept a secret then.
Well, we in some sense we had an idea of what it was, but we didn't understand the magnitude of it, you know?
I see, yeah. I mean, yeah, that can also happen indeed. There are obviously like different ways of going around this story structure type of thing, but I think with something as like the Infinity Stones, the writing is kind of just on the wall, you know? Like Thanos is gonna get him. At least that's the way I look at things. I can't really give an example right now.
I love that line where Doctor Strange is like, you know, how many realities are there where we win? And he says one.
I don't. I find that also. I find that a dumb line, to be honest.
Dude, I love that. I love that line because every time my friend, like, someone complains to me, like, why would that ever work? It's like there's only one reality where that works. It's so dumb. It's so bad, but it's so
dumb.
Good. I love that.
It's cringe, honestly.
Oh my god, it's so fucking funny, bro.
Man, it really annoyed me when I. Well, I mean, the first time I saw it, it was like kind of like hype-inducing, but like. When I got a little older, I looked back at it and I was like, what the fuck? That's such a bad
I remember saying that to Tim, and Tim was like, shut up, Doctor Strange just said that to make it more hype. Oh, dude, he was so mad.
I mean, he did say it to make it more hype, but at the same time, it's such an empty statement.
Why is it empty, bro?
Like, it doesn't change anything. Like, oh, there's only one. Yeah, well, I mean, does it matter if there's only one, or if there's 50, or if there's 100? No, it doesn't, because at the end of the day, you're gonna try to get one of those realities where it happens, you know?
What if he said 0, huh?
Well, if he said 0, then you just know it's gonna be something like, oh, we're defeating the odds. Like, come on, like...
Such a good line, man. Oh my fucking god, it's such a good line.
Like in My Hero Academia, fucking... One of the first elements in this, or one of the first... Yeah, no, one of the first elements introduced into the story was like, All Might is gonna die one day. Still hasn't died. Still hasn't, and we're approaching the end of the story, and it's probably going to be one of those things with like, oh, Midoriya was able to beat the odds and make it so that All Might didn't have to die within the context of having to fight for his life, and that he only died metaphorically in like that one climactic battle in season 3.
I think I'm not so sure actually. It might be. You could say the same for like I don't know how far Naruto was actually, but when Jiraiya died as well. So.
Gonna have to look up who Jiraiya was.
That was Naruto's teacher.
Oh yes, that guy, right? The guy who in like the English dub was like saying like, "Oh Naruto, you have such a nice body," right?
Well, I don't know. I thought you were gonna say because he's kind of infamous for this one scene where he talks about Tsunade's bust size.
Oh yeah, that's not the one I was talking about. Hold on.
But
yeah,
dude,
no, but yeah,
I don't get
a pervert.
I don't get the horniness for certain waifus, bro. But whatever.
What I don't get why the horniness that the waifus have. The horniness.
No. For example, I don't get why so many people waifu Tsunade, but whatever, you know.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean,
I have the same problem with like how do you say? What's it called? The Evangelion girls, Rei and
Asuka, yeah.
Yeah, those two girls are fucking whack, bro. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you if you want Rei. Oh, wait a second. I don't know if Rei or Asuka, bro. That's some whack ass waifus, bro.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. No, Rei is like. I mean, I haven't finished Evangelion ever, but just like in terms of looks, like Rei does look pretty alright in my opinion, and Asuka as well, to be honest.
Bro.
Just look a little young at this point of my life, but I don't know.
I don't know, dude. It's just kind of wrong, bro. It's just too whack for me, if you ask me. But
fair enough.
I mean, at the same time, I understand waifus like how do you say? Wait a second. How's it called again? I understand other types of waifus like in in Attack on Titan, how people waifu Mikasa, for example. You know.
Yeah, I mean. Don't even get me started on Mikasa, bro.
Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No. I mean, she's waifu as fuck. Yeah, for sure.
How is she waifu as fuck? What are the criteria to waifu, huh?
Well, I mean, first of all, she's loyal, right? She's completely.
Dude, there's a line between loyal and just crazy or obsessed, you know?
Yeah, I know, and I love obsessed bitches.
Okay.
And no, especially like
okay, never mind then, bro.
That's one of my favorite tropes. Like, I love it whenever a character is obsessed with anything. Just like whenever their character is like pretty much completely defined by one specific thing, that always creates like a super interesting character in my opinion, because there has to be a point where if the author is good enough, they are going to make something shift with that thing they are obsessed with. Either that thing so for example, you have like Hunter x Hunter Shia Poof obsessed with the idea of King Meruem, and then the author makes it so that Meruem he's changing as a person. So then what does he do? Monogatari, Hanekawa Araragi is obsessed with Hanekawa as a pure person. Hanekawa starts to change. How does Araragi react to that? And there are all these, like, you know, if a character is obsessed with something, and that defines a huge part of their character, it forces them to react to that in an insanely cool way, usually, if the author is good enough. Like Pun as well, with his obsession with Aiko, like that forces him to do certain actions throughout the show, and that's why I really love obsessed characters in media.
Okay, so for the rest, is there any other reason you like Mikasa then, I guess?
I mean, yeah, of course, she also just looks good, and her voice actress really brings her.
Did you like her more with the longer, like, season 4, like in the Marty and shorter hair?
In the manga, I think it looked better than the anime at first, but there are some scenes in the anime where she had like really short hair, and I did think it looked pretty alright.
I think in both cases she's still pretty hot, yeah.
Yeah, and I would agree. Like they both have like their own plus sides to it.
You know that thing where Isayama said that he drew Mikasa prettier if it was an Aaron's POV?
Sorry. Oh yeah, indeed. Because at the beginning of like season 1, Eren even said like, "Oh, you should get your hair shorter."
No. He said he drew Mikasa prettier when it was an Aaron's POV.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Isayama said that because Eren loved Mikasa. You know, that's why.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, Ash.
I do love how certain authors do that. You know, like when sorry, did you say something?
No, go ahead.
An unfaithful or an untrustworthy narrator. I love that trope. That's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah. Another waifu I cannot stand. Like outside of the waifus, I don't know too much about the waifu culture. Right? I just literally googled waifu. But I just realized the ReZero waifu debate is also painful, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Dude.
obviously, it's Emilia. Like,
Jesus, man, the fucking dude. Oh god, that was such a pain, bro. That's so bad. The ReZero waifu debate, like.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad.
I'm done, bro. We're gonna get killed for talking about waifus, bro.
Fair enough, yeah. When I was hosting a Discord stage for the Waifu Decks Discord, there was like a waifu tier list debate thing where I was one of the hosts, and I really wanted Togai Himiko to win from My Hero Academia, and the owner of the server, Javen, really wanted 02 from Darling in the Franxx to win. And
wait, is that 02? Is that the pink-haired girl or the blue-haired girl?
The pink-haired girl. And I really wanted Ichigo from Darling in the Franxx to win against 02, right? So at one point, it just like got so bad that I started like... So Togai Himiko lost round 1 to fucking Yuna from Mirai Nikki, bad anime,
oh
bad
my
character.
god, the pink dude, that's such a... whatever.
Yeah, anyway, and so I got really pissed because it was partly because of the owner of the server, you know? Like he was kind of nudging the chat towards going for Yuna to annoy me. So then I did the same with like nudging the chat towards Ichigo instead of 02, and like the entire fucking thing just became about us two trying to get the chats to vote for the person that the other person doesn't want to win, if you know what I mean.
I see you.
Yeah, I can't remember who won at the end, but it was like some dumb character that nobody would have in their right mind voted for, but I guess they ended up winning. But yeah.
That's also something I guess.
Right. But yeah, no. Man, do you have any plans for tonight later on?
Well, something else I wanted to mention, right? Since next week is my birthday, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited on what your birthday gift for me was gonna be, dude.
Yeah, it's. I think you'll quite enjoy the idea that I had.
Dude, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I'll be real with you. This is one of those things I can never solve, right? Straight up. Dude, I sometimes wonder if I should feel bad or something, right? But I have no idea sometimes. I always usually just give a friend or family like a hint what I want for my birthday. But this year, I don't know, I was too busy with school, I never really gave it some thought, right? The only thing I could theoretically think about is like a vertical mouse or an ergonomic keyboard. But those things are pretty expensive, so I understand
Yeah.
those things, But
Mm-hmm.
so honestly, I have no idea what you'll give me. I remember I gave you like the sweatbands for badminton, right?
Right.
And I gave I gave you one of the two because the other two you still have to deserve. If you beat me, you get the second
Exactly.
one. It's such a cool way to give it, man. I was so proud of that.
It's an amazing way. Honestly, I was trying to think of something similar, but then I thought I might have been riffing off you too much. I'm
still really happy with the scarf you gave me. I still wear it a lot actually, for during the winter at least.
I'm glad you like it. I think you'll really like this one. However, yeah, I'm not even gonna like try to get into it because I'm not even sure if I can really say this, but I am going to. It is like a multi-layered present, right? And part of it is Sunny and I doing it together, and then the other part is something that I thought of on my own. That's all.
Cool. Alright, but for the rest of the evening, I don't know. I'm gonna just do some small schoolwork, and then get myself ready. Like I'll have to be prepared for stuff I need to like catch up on schoolwork, so I'm not too much behind from watching that Spider-Man movie and stuff.
Right.
That
No,
evening's
yeah.
gonna be,
My
How about
evening
you?
is probably just gonna. I'm just probably gonna get straight to bed, honestly, because I need to catch my train tomorrow morning. So yeah, man. I actually, since we talked about schoolwork, just really quickly,
Take your time, man.
my logic courses. So for logic is like a course that I have in uni, and it's so annoying because it's basically like learning a new language, right? And it gets really frustratingly complex at certain times when you don't really understand what it's telling you to do. But once you get it, and you feel amazing. And so today was like a great day for my logic homework because I was doing it, and this is like the first time ever where I did all my logic homework in like 1 or 2 hours, just like instantly, and it didn't hurt my head at all. Like I was on a roll, and I felt so amazing. That's like I had the idea of like, yes, I understand it now, and that's great.
You were experiencing flow, yeah. Nice.
Exactly. And tomorrow at like 10, I need to be in the auditorium in Ghent for the logic courses, and I'm really wondering what they're gonna add to the system right now, because this week will be the last lecture that we have about it, and then the week after that is going to just be a test again, of which we have 4 throughout the year, and those 4 will count for it was either 10 or 20% of the final score.
Wait.
So yeah,
Next week you have your exams in some sense?
it is a mini exam of it, yeah, but it's like not an actual exam, because the actual exam, this course does have like an actual exam.
Yeah, no, I get it, yeah.
But
All
no,
right.
it's only for that. It's only for that course we get like a mini exam, and then for the other courses I don't get my exams until January.
I see.
Right.
Alright.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, that's... I hope you sleep well tonight, bro.
Thank you. You
Oyasumi.
too. Oyasumi nasai.
Dude, second episode done, dude.
Yeah.
I remember somewhere hearing that if you hit your 9th episode in a podcast, that is when you're actually dedicated to the podcast.
Really?
Yeah,
did you hear
that's what
that?
they say. I don't know, it's the same with the rule, like 3 weeks, if you work out for like... if you want to make a habit, you have to do it for like 3 weeks, that's the goal,
Right.
right? And I heard somewhere people say that for a podcast, it's the 9th episode.
Okay, well,
So, yeah.
we'll have to wait and see, I guess.